Changes. Welcome to the pod.
Changes.
This is How Do We Human, the podcast where we talk about all the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Binning.
I'm one of your hosts, Evan Cox, and time can't change me.
And today we're going to be talking about the concept of change, something that people often struggle with.
Pennies, nickels,
The rest.
the rest.
You know them, you love them.
Mm.
Pennies, nickels, the rest.
And we know the rest.
We know them, okay? There is going to be a
Alright.
quiz at the end of the episode. I
We
don't think
have-
that's going to come up,
We have lots of change.
but we know them. Yeah. Evan,
Yeah.
let's change the subject here to be about you.
Yeah, okay.
How you
take
doing?
it. I'll take the reins. I'm doing all right. I want to, I don't know. Is this getting meta? Is that what that is that?
Are we in the metaverse?
Am I in the jungle bopping my head with those cool animals? They're so cool. I want to talk about a dear listener
Evan
of
Hansen.
ours,
Oh.
super fan, Jordan.
Yeah.
Had mentioned, because we said on an episode a while back that I had all these stickers.
Yes.
How Do We Human stickers? And he commented on Instagram, I'll take some stickers. And I'm like, fuck yes, send us your address to the email account. And he did.
And you sent him all the stickers we had, right? So now it's your job to get rid of them.
Now it's your problem. I sent him 10 stickers, so not nothing.
Okay.
But I bought a lot. I think I bought like 100 stickers. That's just what they came in.
Right, yeah.
I've got stickers for days. We're not planning on changing our URL. We got that handle. Anyways, I emailed him back and said, great. It was the weekend, and I was like, I'll send those off Monday. And then I didn't do that. I don't know why you put a date on anything you say, because, and by you, I mean me. I'm a lazy procrastinator. But the main reason I kept procrastinating is that I'm like, this fucking guy, he's been a listener for so long now. Loyal fan, always contributes to the show. He sent us a voicemail that one time. What
He
a
did.
champ. I'm going to write him a letter and say all sorts of nice shit about how much we appreciate you and your listenership. I didn't do that. Instead, I just waited until I was ready to do that. And then it was like way too late. And I was like, do I just do it? All right. No, I'm just going to send it. So I just sent, I sent an envelope full of stickers. No other communication in it. And I felt like a weirdo for that. But if you listen to this podcast as much as we seem to think you do, you understand how easy it is for me to come off as a weirdo. But just letting you know, we do appreciate you, and I wanted to write you a nice letter.
It's the thought that counts. That's what they always say.
That's what they. I mean, thank God they say that. If they didn't, I'd have nothing.
Yeah.
Chris,
Yes.
how's you doing?
Well, as I mentioned in the last episode, I went to a
throwback.
baseball game, and
That's right. There was
out
a
of
tease.
state baseball game, and it was first. I mean, I've been to Arizona Diamondbacks games
Mm-hmm.
in the past. This was the Diamondbacks versus the Phillies, and it just but I hadn't been in a long time, and I had been to some Dodger games more recently, and it was just very interesting to be in a stadium that treats the baseball game more seriously, I guess,
Oh.
as opposed to a fun hangout where you watch baseball.
It can be the vibe at a Dodgers game.
Yeah, that was generally the 2 times I went. That was basically the vibe of the Dodgers games. Granted, we won both of those games, and the Diamondbacks won this game against the Phillies by quite a lot. But
Really? Yeah, that's a big win.
yeah, multiple home
Get 'em.
runs. We love to see a home run, and
You have
then
to
they
hear
play
that.
some funky music, White Boy, and
Hey.
we're all jamming as the strobe lights go around the stadium. Anyway, but yeah, weird things like, you know, the first inning, the Phillies like come up to the plate, and we're like, people in the stands are already booing, and it's like, what are we doing? um anyway, that's not what I want to talk about.
Okay.
At this baseball game, it's myself, my wife, and then my brother and his girlfriend. The four of us are
I've met
there,
'em.
and we have seats at the bottom row, basically, of the section. So like right next to us, there are stairs going up further rows.
Yeah.
Somewhere around the 8th inning, I think, there's like a wetness that sprays across myself, my
Oh.
wife, my brother's girlfriend, and I don't think it reached my brother because he was on the
Nice.
end. But what is this? The roof to there's a retractable roof to the stadium, but it's closed, so it's not like
Okay.
a rain is coming. It's not like a storm is coming, Mr. Wayne. And I look at my arm and my leg, and I see red. Not that I'm so mad. I'm a little mad.
Yeah.
Because it's ketchup that
Okay.
has sprayed the three of us, and then also the like next level down, you can see that it got 3 people on the backs of their clothing. And now it's like, pause the game, please, because I need to get to the bottom of who sprayed us all with ketchup.
Yeah.
And I did figure it out, because at the bottom of the stairs, you know, there's like a little step up to the landing, I guess is what you would call that.
Yeah.
There's an empty, now open ketchup packet sitting there. And so what our theory is, somebody dropped the ketchup packet on the landing of the stairs, and at some point somebody stepped on it and it sprayed the rest of us with ketchup.
Yeah.
So not necessarily anybody's fault, but still, like, I'm still annoyed.
let
but
me get to the bottom of something. Because
yeah.
when I was in high school, this was a thing people would do. You throw a ketchup packet on the ground, you stomp on it, and get ketchup on people.
Okay.
Elma were a bunch of animals.
Yeah. The more I learn about Elma, the more amazed I am at how you turned out.
Yeah. But anyone, I would even venture to say I tried doing this once or twice, and I've experienced what happens when you just step on a ketchup packet. Guess what? The ketchup kind of just comes out like you were squeezing it. Might come out a little harder, but not like a projectile. In my opinion, someone intentionally stomped that bitch and ran. And you've got a right to see red.
All right. Well, that's good to know. I do think, you know, for a little while I was diving into JFK conspiracy theories, but in the context of this ketchup, was there a second ketchup shooter? Well, I don't know. So it's good to know that you think that there
theory.
Was. Yeah. They curved the ketchup spray so that it sprayed the rest of us. Yeah, lots of interesting theories here. And if you go to Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona, be on the lookout for some ketchup deviants.
That's
this is a PSA
terrible.
now. Yeah.
It's funny. When you said you saw red spray, the first thought is blood. Like someone had a bloody nose and they
Sure.
sneezed on you or something like
Yeah.
that. And it's like, oh my God, that's disgusting. Then you said ketchup and I thought, oh, that's better. But then I really thought about it and I'm like, I don't know why. I love ketchup,
Yeah.
but someone else's ketchup, when you're not expecting it, if you were like, hey, you guys want some ketchup? And I put my hot dog out and catch it.
Yeah.
That's great. I'll take it. That's disgusting. And I don't know why. It grosses me out so fucking much. Not a fan.
Yeah. Even like knowing it came from a packet. I don't know.
I think, and I want your opinion on this before we get going.
Please.
I think I would take, if I'm mystery getting sprayed from a condiment packet, I think I would take ketchup over mustard, mayonnaise, and relish. Thoughts?
Certainly over relish.
That would be so gross.
Yeah,
so
definitely over mayonnaise as well.
You think you'd take mustard?
No, I'm gonna stick with ketchup also.
Yeah, it's disgusting, but it is
Mustard
the better
is
option.
Solidly in second place, but
mustard
but yeah.
at least is a little more of a solid. It's not a solid, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it would probably just kind of hit you in like a.
I
but in
think
those
that,
packets, it gets kind of gross.
I think that the benefit that mustard has, and ketchup has this a little bit, but like you see that you've been sprayed with mustard, you can immediately be like, this is mustard. I recognize
True.
this color. There's nothing else that jumps to my mind as to what this could be.
If this is urine, get that person to the hospital.
Exactly. But like ketchup, maybe you have a moment of like, is this blood?
Yeah.
No, it's ketchup.
Taste it.
Mayonnaise and relish both could be some nastier things.
Mm-hmm.
So I still go in ketchup number 1, then mustard number 2, and then those other 2 at the bottom.
And again, we will move on. But do you agree that I feel like if I were hit with ketchup, but it was like warm, I would find that less terrible. Because that, in my mind, would immediately be related like, oh, that's food. Oh, no, someone's food hit me. Something about, I don't know, something about cold ketchup really grosses me out.
Yeah, I don't know that the temperature makes a huge difference for me.
Okay, I'll hit you with a frozen ball of ketchup and see what you fucking think.
I believe then we've changed some of the. I'll hit you with a warm bottle of ketchup, and then we'll see.
It's just temperature, mama. Keep it up, mama. Hey, mama. The only segue. Should we change into our main topic?
Yeah, let's change into our main topic.
You wanted to talk change.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious why. What's going on?
Well, I think that in the broadest sense, change is something that we can believe in, but also change is something that I think a lot of people struggle with adapting to.
Mm-hmm.
In the personal sense, it's because I got a new phone and I'm really struggling with the new sensitivity of certain things on the touch screen. For the most part, most things are where they were on my old phone because I just upgraded.
You're in the same.
Yeah, I'm in the Google Pixel family still.
Okay.
But I've upgraded from the 3 to the 7. So we've had some
big
updates. Yeah.
Hot damn.
And I'm really struggling with where things are and whether or not I can turn certain things off.
Oh yeah, that gets more and more common with new phones, and I hate that. Where it's just like, here's this feature, it can't be turned off. It's just what phones do now. Also, good luck. Try deleting Facebook, bitch. You can't.
It's especially been noticeable on like Instagram, or if I'm even just scrolling through like an article. But
Yeah.
it's got a very sensitive, like, if you swipe to either side, it takes you away from what you're looking at.
Oh, sure.
If I'm scrolling through an Instagram carousel and I have my finger too far to the side,
That's annoying.
whips me away from what I'm looking at. And then because of Instagram's poor user interface, I can
Yes.
never see that post again.
That's terrible. There should be like a touchscreen sensitivity thing, but I don't know. I haven't had a Pixel. I have a Google
The other
tablet.
thing that is during like ads during games, the like to press the X. On my old phone, it was like, yep, press the X right in the center of it. And on this phone, it's like, press the X, but a little bit to the southwest of it. And that's
Interesting.
also a little frustrating.
That's obnoxious.
Yeah. Do you have, when you get a new phone or any sort of new technology, do you pick it up pretty quickly? Are you one of these youngsters that the boomers come to and are like, you must be an expert in technology? Help me with any question I have about any piece of technology I've ever used.
I might be one of those youngsters. The thing I'd say is with my phones, ever since I don't know, first got a smartphone in like 2010-ish, maybe a little later than some people. I don't know, dates are hard for me. I don't know why I tried, but it was when I started working in radio, because that was my first job. That was like, yeah, you need to be, they give you the idea like you have to be on your email at all times, you have to be available constantly.
Yeah.
That's not true, and it's ruined me, but I'm getting better. So my first phone was a Samsung Galaxy S5, I want to say. And then I did upgrade that to another Galaxy. But then after that, I went LG, the V10, I think, and then hopped back to Galaxy, but it was a Note. Which is the bigger one, which is completely different. And then I've now switched to an iPhone. So I've been jumping. Listen, I've been jumping. And it is always jarring, but I think it's gotten me a little better. It's also like through work, I'm constantly like because I do like video editing and photo editing and shit like that. Like, they always want you to work on a Mac, which is not even really necessary anymore. that used to be way more true than it is now. That like, oh, you can't do video editing on a PC. It's like, yeah, you can. It's easy, but like IT departments don't want to deal with Macs often, so I end up having like my at the office computer's a PC, but the work I actually do is on the Mac. So I've always hopping back and forth. So I've gotten pretty good at it. But in general, I feel like I'm better with change now. But when I was a kid, I fucking hated it. I could not handle change. I was one of these kids. And I wonder about yourself.
I think I'm the opposite. I think I was better maybe as a kid, and now as I'm getting older, like there are some things that I think as change occurs, I can still keep up with change as an adult, but I do generally whine and complain about it. And even if it's something that I think is a good change, I think my brain gets into a space of like, well, what if there are all of these things that will almost certainly never happen, but could, and then it'll be bad. I think it kind of goes to the like, you want to go with the evil that you know instead of like the unknown.
Yeah, that is how it's easy to get stuck. Like I've been stuck at jobs for a while for that reason. Exactly, is just like I don't know. I think it's. I'm actually, and by I think I mean I have a quote, which I have a quote from the internet.
Okay.
A new app I'd never heard of. So we got to trust that. But it is kind of part and parcel with being an introverted person is being comfortable in your space, and different things incoming feel like a negative. This is a net negative. I'll read the quote since I brought it up. I thought it was interesting. Have you heard of the app Boo?
No.
It's got a little ghost, kind of like Snapchat, but it's Boo. And
okay. It's different.
It should be spooky. But it's like a matching app. It's like a dating app, but it's also like making friends and shit like that based on all those tests we've taken in the past. The INFJ shit, the Myers-Briggs shit. And it matches you up with people who are like you, which I don't know if that's the way to live life, but it's worked for us. So
sounds like it should be called Bubble.
Bubble would be good. Yeah, the only Boo related stuff with it is it has a ghost, and then there's like a level you can get to that's called the spirit realm.
Ooh.
But if it were anything else, it'd be like the membership club. Like,
yeah,
doesn't matter.
Interesting.
But anyways, so
is the ghost someone who didn't live life to the fullest and now is trying to help you find many friends and dating prospects?
Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein. He died and was like, I didn't live life to the fullest. I didn't do it this time around. I have regrets, and they're not what you'd think.
Yeah. To be clear, I stand by every single thing I did. I just wish I did it more.
You'll never believe the regrets the ghost of Jeffrey Epstein has. Anyways,
I wish I had more friends who were ETNJ.
What happens? Okay, sci-fi movie pitch. We get to a point where ghosts make apps. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways,
that'd be fun.
So basically, this app's all like
the plot is ghosts make apps
now. And hey, could be fun or spooky. Two qualities I like in my movies. Anyways, this Boo app.
Face Boo.
This Boo app is very like psychology based because it's using all those tests. So they have quotes from psychologists. And this one says the psychology behind introverts' struggle with change is multifaceted. At its core, it involves the introvert's deep-rooted preference for internal processing over external stimulation. This preference isn't merely a lifestyle choice, but a fundamental aspect of their identity. I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me. Inner peace and rigidity over external stimulations. And the more I think about it, it's not that I hated change as a kid and now I'm better. It's that I'm better at like handling it, and the big changes no longer bother me. Big changes kind of feel interesting sometimes. It's little things. Like I get so stuck in my ways on the little things I do, my little routines. And when things go wrong there, that upsets me. Not in a like violent way. The way I said that's felt extreme, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think that, there are two wolves within me. Because I'm such an alpha. And there's the part of me that like doesn't want change.
Yeah.
And then there's the other part of me that's like, I'm going to handle this change so much better than everybody else. I'm the most adaptable.
You hate change,
and
but
so
you're
it kind of
competitive.
like, yeah, exactly. So I think that's why I'm still like able to keep up with changes and adapt to them quickly, but also complain about it. I
Yeah.
think that workplace changes generally like we have some going on in my workplace now, and when I worked at IKEA there was a big workplace change that led to a mass exodus of people quitting. Not that that's the type of change that my current company's going through,
Yeah.
but I think workplace changes are especially where I get um, more irritated.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Um, so I don't know how that quite factors in, but I don't know if you think this is a little change or a big change, Evan.
Hmm.
I think we may have talked about this in the episode about this topic many moons ago. Is this a big change or a little change? You go into the grocery store and they've reorganized where everything is.
Yeah, we
Big
have
change or
talked
little
about that.
change?
That's a big change.
Okay.
But that is also there's a part of me that gets excited by it, and maybe that's because when I worked at Walgreens. That was my favorite work to do. Was when they call them revisions. It would come down from corporate. Like every store could kind of be organized in its own way, but
Yeah.
revisions would come down that are like, this has to be here, this has to be organized this way, these products have to go here. And so you get in there, take all the products off the shelf, move the shelves so the hiding's right. I always really loved doing that, mostly because the customers ignore you a little bit more because you're clearly very busy. And
the ones that don't, though, make me
they're the
way
worst.
more upset than
fucking worst
than I would have been normally.
That is change I can't accept. It was quiet here recently. So it is like I'm excited to see the outcome, but in the moment, yeah, that's frustrating as hell. I'm like,
yeah,
you need to get a ghost to make an app, and it knows what I'm shopping for, and it's not going to tell me exactly, but it's going to give me like a hot or a cold, like beep beep, as I get near the item.
Yeah,
that's a good app. Maybe I'll just make it and say it was made by a ghost and see how that goes over. Has anyone tried it?
Has anybody claimed that their app was made by a ghost? Zach Baggins is gonna come for you, Evan.
We can only dream. But you bringing up, I have that note that like workplace changes in particular suck. Not like leaving a job and starting a new job. That is generally a good thing unless you fucked up and left a good job and went to a shitty job. I don't know. I did that once. I definitely did that once. It's how I ended up in California.
Hooray!
Hooray! But there is something to just like, because I think we've talked about this before, like I'm a long-term employee, and that doesn't mean I stay at a place forever, but like I think outside of even my first, like I think the least amount of time I've spent at a job is 3 years, and I'm like, I feel like it's common nowadays, like the style of working is just like, I'm going to work at this job for a year. Now let me find a new position, do that for a year, and just keep making more and more money. And I'm just like, no, I'm loyal, and that's worth something. And so I'll stay. I've been at this company for a while now, and you feel like you're a part of a team getting a project done, or just you're on a track. And then when someone in leadership, because those are the people always that are leaving, it just feels like you've been abandoned and you got to start over with someone new, and they might suck. I don't like it. Not a fan.
Yeah, I was also raised to be a company man, and perhaps to my detriment.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it does, all the experts out there say that the best way to make a bunch of money is to work somewhere for 3 years max instead of minimum like you and I do.
Yeah.
And then jump to other companies because hiring rates get higher as you ping pong around the corporate system. But then there is that level of like that's a fear of making a change that I think I have also. And also some level of laziness. But I do have that same thing that you do of, well, I'm a loyal company person, even though the company does very little to reward my loyalty. I'm so loyal, and that must mean something because it meant something when my parents were working in the 80s.
Or when I worked at Walgreens for 5 years, I got a pin.
Yeah, I also have some pins.
And they're like, if you work here for 10 years, you can look through the catalog and pick a Walgreens item. I didn't do that. No. I should have done it.
I mean, I'm gonna be 3.5 years away from a 10-year anniversary. Will I make it? Yeah, I've been at this job for 6.5 years.
I remember when you got this job.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wild.
I know. And there is a life event that might be approaching for me where I'm going to have to really figure out what I'm going to do.
Oh, boy. Here we
go. Boy. The fear of change will be real again, depending on how this goes.
Oh, interesting. Someone has secrets.
I mean, not really. Wes announced it on this podcast, 3 years ago? And it might just now start happening.
That is true. You put the pieces together.
Yep. I gave you all the clues, Mr. Police.
Yeah. Was that the snowman?
That was the snowman. That was the snowman.
That was
Michael Fassbender with the snowman.
You said Michael Fassbender. I heard Michael Phelps, and I loved it.
That's a good movie, too. Yeah. You know, he's used to water in liquid form, and now it's crystallized into a solid.
Whoa! I can't swim!
Something that I know you're passionate about, that I've been thinking about a little bit more, this still ties into fear of change.
Okay.
I'm wondering if I should get a bidet.
Yeah. You experienced one at my place?
I have only seen it. I've never used it.
Fear of change.
I guess, yeah. It's that also though is like I try not to, unless I'm away for days.
Yeah.
I try not to make duty in a bathroom that's not my own because I'm scared.
That'll just change the vibe of the place.
I am in constant fear that if I take a shit anywhere in that's a bathroom that I have guest access to, that I'm gonna clog it. That's my fear. I think
that's fair. That would
also
suck.
People hearing me, ripping it in there. I think those two things kind of dovetail together into me just being like, no, I'll hold it.
I'm free flowing in public. Free flowing. You decide what that means.
Also, you decide how public that free flow is.
Okay, that's exciting. Any particular reason that's coming up?
No,
I don't mean like
it's
physically.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to get one in the next 30 minutes, I think.
Got a lot to clean up.
No, I think it's just, it's supposed to be more hygienic,
Wetter, for sure.
wetter. I have some of those flushable wet wipes that I use sometimes, but word on the street is that's bad for plumbing.
That's what the street says.
That's what the street says. So maybe consider making that switch. I don't know. I don't know about it, but it is starting to creep more into my mind space.
It's great. It's better down where it's wetter. I guarantee it.
Great.
You're
gonna like the way you spray.
It's nice. It's nice to feel clean.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a nice change.
How about change when, speaking of these life events and things, when you have a change, maybe it's as simple as it's your birthday. And people go, "You feel any different?" How do you feel about when you're allegedly supposed to feel change and don't?
Yeah, like you. I was gonna say when you got married and people would say that to you.
How does it feel, married man?
When you got married,
same.
That changed a lot for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this podcast has shown I could be a little aloof sometimes about certain things. And I think, again, like the big changes aren't crazy to me. So I just don't react to them in a big way. Like when I turned 30, it's like,
right.
Yeah, that's how time works. When I started getting gray hairs in my beard, also how time works. The big changes, they don't faze me. I say before, like, the earthquake comes and breaks us off. We have our own little lost adventure on an island.
Yep. How, if you had been on Oceanic Flight 815,
and I was,
how long do you think you would have made it? Do you think you would have died in the crash? Do you think you would have died in a season finale? What do you think you would have been buried alive? What do you think would have happened? Killed by the smoke monster?
I mean, that'd be great. I'll take it. In emergencies, I have misplaced confidence that I'll survive. So I would definitely survive the crash. Obviously. Any crash.
Obviously.
I'm surviving. I'm not like I'm not good at stuff. But I do have a will to survive in certain cases. Like we've both said in the past on that zombie quiz. Like, well, I'm not doing that. I'm not fighting to survive in that hellscape. But if I'm on an island in Hawaii, which they never mentioned, I'm like, guys, this is not bad. There's a resort over there. They've got cucumber water.
I mean, they never really explore the island, so they don't find the beachside resort.
They never explore the benefits of the resort. All inclusive.
Yeah, they never got any shave ice.
Missed opportunity.
Poke bowls. Instead, they're out there fishing and killing boar.
Spam masubi.
Come on, you guys.
Come on.
Get the pineapple Dole Whip.
Come on. You ain't lost. You found. And your family.
I'm trying to think of how long I would have made it on that island. I don't know.
My answer is like 3/4 of the way through. I don't think I'm
respectable
making it all the way to the end, but I'm definitely not dying in the crash. And I'm trying hard to get to that resort.
Yeah.
I might just be Michael with the raft. Like, there's a resort out there. we gotta build a raft.
Yeah. I think I also survived the crash. I think I say spoilers for Lost season 4.
Get ready.
I think I die when that boat explodes. I think I'm on that boat.
That's fair. That's a fair point to die.
Yeah.
Explosions to get you every time.
Yeah, that's when they get rid of all the useless characters. So that's probably me.
Who lit a match?
Yeah.
Listen, I want to talk about the big change.
The big change when Tom Hanks went from a small boy to a grown man.
And then back to a small boy.
And then back to a small boy, but he still had that big old suit on.
Yeah. That's like I know people joke about that movie and the grown woman having sex with a child. But that's the reverse, like, awful... what's the term for it? Like Princess and the Frog situation, not the Disney movie specifically, but just the what am I looking for? Kiss a frog, make a prince.
What am I looking for? Kiss a frog.
Well, yeah, kiss a frog, make a prince. Ghost makeup. Kiss a frog, make a prince.
Yeah.
Kiss a prince, make a little boy. That's a worse scenario. That's no fairy tale.
Yeah.
That's a fairy nightmare. I want to talk about COVID came and went. Sort of.
The big change.
It's still here. I consider that the big change. And I think that took me back some steps in terms of my embracing of change. Obviously, I embraced moving up here to the mountains. That was fun and exciting. I like a fun, exciting change. I hate moving, but I do like living in a new area. That's fun to me. But COVID was such a big change, like changed the world entirely. Mm-hmm. And I've never gone back to working in an office. The office I worked in is closed now. If I went back to the office, it would be a different place. I had a friend asking me specifically, like, how it is working from home all the time. Like, do you go stir crazy? Do you miss people and being in an office and this and this and that? And I'm like, for me, the positives outweigh the negatives, but there are a lot of negatives to it. But the thought, and it could happen because I work for a big company that makes big, wide-ranging decisions all at once. It could absolutely happen that at a certain point, they're like, no, you got to start coming into the office every day. Every day. And you're not going to get an office. You're going to get a corner. I was there recently. They have corners with, like, bed sheets. And there's an office in there.
Oh, that's.
I don't want to live there. So in that thought, like that idea of change is like, that stresses me out even thinking about that possibility that change could ever come.
Yeah.
I don't know. The question is, do you feel like COVID affected your embracing or fear of change?
Well, not exactly. I think...
Here he goes.
And that's mostly because I was an essential worker.
That's right. So essential.
Another thing where my... much like loyalty, my financial compensation did not reflect the alleged importance of what I was doing.
Sounded like a common story.
Yeah.
She got those pots and pans.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't get to take them home. You got to listen to
Nope.
them every night.
Got to listen to the beautiful sounds. My children, they make such beautiful pots and pans banging in the night. Anyway, most of my COVID routine didn't really change. I got to witness people refusing to change, i.e., refusing to wear their masks, and it became my job to be like, but please, would you please wear your mask?
Don't make me sad.
And I think that then most people, when they found out it would make me sad if they didn't wear their mask, these are people who are generally full of empathy, so they put it on right away. I guess like it was interesting to see the change happen. And like, the only real change that I had was having to wear a mask. Which, took some getting used to, obviously, as it did for everybody.
Yeah.
But, I guess the big change was happening around me more so than it was happening to me.
So weird. And it's like, I know other essential workers. You're not the only one.
Oh, man.
Multiple friends of mine were essential and had the same story where it's like, yeah, COVID didn't really, I wear a mask, but it didn't change much in the day to day. And it's like, I lived alone at the time. I didn't see anyone for like a year outside of like talking on Zoom. I didn't go into the office. The only time I would go outside really was either to walk my dog or drive to get grocery stores put in my car to get groceries delivered to me. And that was scary. If anyone walked past me on the street, that was scary. So that was a big time of change for this guy. It kind of fucked me up. But again, in terms of embracing big change, I embraced the challenge. I was like, I'd rather this be a big change than a little change. If I'm just going to work still but wearing a mask, that's no fun. I had a weird 2 or 3 years there. And it affected me for the better and for the worse. Now I talk like this sometimes.
Do you have any other change thoughts or stories here? We do have to still get to our quiz.
Yeah, we got to wrap this up. The only other thing I wrote was like going back. I mean, childhood is so... I don't know if it's... I was going to say it's ubiquitous with not liking change, but I don't think all kids are like that. Maybe I'm wrong. Let us know if you were different or the same. We just like talking to you. But I just remember like being a kid and we lived in, my parents still have, spoiler alert, my parents still have the same house they've had since I was a kid. And there was a certain point, we live in like a small little, almost near cul-de-sac, except there's no cul-de-sac. Hard to explain. There's a hill, goes all the way up the hill, but then that's a dead end and it comes back down. So a weird shaped cul-de-sac.
I believe we've discussed this on a previous episode and just determined it was a dead-end street.
Dead-end street it is. But there was a certain point when I was a kid-ish, like I probably like an older kid, like 8, maybe. Let's say 8. And my parents were like, the neighbors up the road are moving away. And they've got a 2-story house. We live in a 1-story house. 2 stories, big driveway, big yard in the back, lot more space for the 5 of us. And we went up there and checked it out. And I was like, this place is so cool. And the thought that this could be my bedroom, that's crazy to think. But I couldn't fucking handle it. And for years, I thought that we ended up not moving because I couldn't handle that. I was just like, this is about me. And I reacted so poorly to the idea of no longer. Like, it felt worse to live next to our old house, and then we could never go there again. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something about that freaked me out. I didn't like it. So I missed out on having a really, really cool bedroom. Like,
that's a shame.
Bottom floor, had a fucking glass windows. Probably would have been scary. I might have been sniped.
Yeah.
Boom,
mean,
headshot.
based on what you've shared about the people of Elma, who knows what could have happened to you?
Who knows what could have happened? But let us know if your childhood was the same as mine, or if it was different. Talk to us. Thanks for listening. This is HowDoWeHuman. You've been listening to it. You've been listening. And it's good. So listen more. We got 200. So this is 280 episodes. That's pretty cool. Nearing the big 300, 003, vice versa. Making copies.
Do we need to do a Rob Schneider episode, by the way?
It's probably about time. This needs to be discussed. Or celebrated. I don't know.
I'll tell you right now, it does not need to be celebrated.
Discussed it is. DISGUST.
Yeah, get him.
Gotcha. We're taking L King's side. You suck. Anyways, if you have opinions on that and you want to talk to us, you can do so. First off, you can listen to this podcast anywhere you're currently listening to it, but also Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, etc., etc. Any of those places.
Listen on all of them.
Listen on all of them at the same time. Like a Flaming Lips Zyreka situation. Get your friends together, get a bunch of iPods, old iPods, put them in the iPod docks, press play at the same time. So you're hearing this in surround. I'll make it surround. Dolby Atmos. I promise. Anyways, but you can talk to us. We're on social media. You can hang out with us over on Instagram at HowDoWeHuman.
We got that handle.
Love that. You can do the same thing at Facebook at HowDoWeHuman.
We got that handle.
You can watch full videos. Not one partial. The ghost episode did get cut off for some reason. Otherwise, full video episodes.
Ghosts are making that app.
Ghosts make the app.
BooTube.
BooTube. We're on BooTube at HowDoWeHuman.
We got that handle.
For now, Google Voice has taken over the Twitter spot, where I'm just going to refer to it like we might be shutting it down any second. But for now, you can leave us a voicemail. Our phone number is 323-657-9896.
We got that number.
Damn straight. And probably the easiest way, if you want to just ask us a question or give us an episode idea, whatever, tell us what you think. You can send us emails. That's howdowehumanpod@gmail.com.
The best part of that handle is that it's an email.
Now let's quiz.
Yeah, let's quiz. Playing to 100 points, 5 questions at a time. And the score currently, me with 80 points, you with 77 points, and Dustin does still have 4 points. As I mentioned at the end of last episode, there's a chance that there are only 4 matches left if I get every single question correct from here on out. However, I've seen this first question already, and I think you're going to get it right, and I'm going to get it wrong.
Oh, no.
It's a music question, Evan, and that historically has not been great for me. UB40's first number 1 hit Red Red Wine was a cover of whose song? Bob Dylan, Roy Orbison, Patsy Cline, or Neil Diamond?
I am almost positive I know this. I would not have known this like a month ago. Literally something I learned recently.
Okay. All
I
right.
knew it was a cover, but I didn't know who of.
Yeah. So here's where I'm stuck.
Okay.
Because had there not been any of these choices, the person that jumps to my mind as the right answer is Bob Marley. Now, does
That's
that mean it's Bob Dylan because they're both named Bob?
Bob De
Or
Niro.
does that mean it's Roy Orbison? I know a lot of people have done covers of Patsy Cline songs. Is this one of those instances?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's Neil Diamond. So when that's correct, it'll be proof of how dumb I am.
No, that was the interesting takeaway. Is like UB40's version is very much a reggae song, and then it's like, oh, I haven't listened to the original. I got to do it.
Yeah. I'm
Red wine.
torn between Bob Dylan and Roy Orbison. That's kind of where I'm stuck. I think I'm gonna cross out Patsy Cline and leave it at those two
Got
who are left. So
a couple
it's
of traveling Wilburys.
do I go with the Bob connection, or do I feel like Red Red Wine is more in line of a title with other Roy Orbison songs?
Roy wine.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna get it wrong either way. I think no matter which one I go with, it'll be the opposite. I'm gonna say Roy Orbison, and I think it's gonna be wrong.
As far as I know, the answer is Neil Diamond.
Great. You are correct, Evan.
What color M&M was retired to make way for blue M&Ms in 1995? I immediately don't know the answer to this, but this is so up our alley.
It really is.
What color M&M was retired to make way for blue M&Ms in 1995? Violet, tan, purple, or pink? 1995. Had I had M&Ms?
The date
Probably.
is kind of what's throwing me off here.
Violet.
Because I do believe, I mean, at some point, at least 3 of these have been M&Ms, which is kind of where I'm getting in trouble with my brain because it's in what order were these
right
in circulation.
I think I've landed on my answer, and I'm sure it's a created memory. Okay. Just, my brain went, oh, well, we've got to come up with something. And I've got an image of an M&M bowl with a certain color in there.
I have my answer as well.
Okay. I'm going purple.
I'm going tan.
Okay. Interesting.
Tan is correct.
Erasing my gains.
Where? Oh God, I hate this.
Yeah.
Where is the Guggenheim Museum? Berlin, New York City, Beijing, or Vienna?
I wish I knew.
Yeah, me too.
One leapt out at me, and I'm just going to go with it because thinking about this any further isn't going to get me closer. I am between 2. I'm going to say Vienna.
Okay, the one that leapt out at me, and I think it's wrong because why would it be here? I'm going with New York City.
That was my other answer. So okay. I'm like, I think I'm going to look dumb.
I was between Berlin and Vienna originally and then decided, you know what? I'm going to say New York City.
I think it's a good
It was choice. New York City.
I knew it. I knew I was going to look dumb.
that was me on that UB40 question.
Fuck. Where is the world's largest university by enrollment? Germany, China, India, or the United States?
So I guess the other way to measure would be by like real
size.
estate.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay. Huh. Well,
Well,
I
a
have
lot of people in
no
China.
clue. Exactly. A lot of people in China and a lot of people in India.
But also a lot of a lot of people immigrating to the United States.
That's
There's
so
also
true,
a
Evan.
lot of people in the U.S. and a lot of people do come to the U.S. to
We
go
were
to
just
school.
talking about change and something Evan doesn't like. People changing where they live in order to take advantage of that high quality education in the
Yeah.
USA.
Damn straight. Oh, yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah, you are right. There are a lot of exchange students or people who spend their whole career, but are they coming to the US because they want jobs in the US? This is where I'm getting stumped.
I mean, it does feel like
I'm between
somewhat
two.
of a correlation. It would have to be the actual physical size of the university. Otherwise, there's a lot of people cramped in small buildings.
Sure.
So, I think I'm just a little homebody. I'm going to go the United States, and I'm going to be wrong. It's going to be India or Germany. We know. We know this.
You think Germany's in the mix?
I think Germany's in the mix.
Okay.
USA is my answer.
I'm between India and China.
Okay.
Oh man. I'm gonna go with India. I think that China and the US are really, I mean, not that India's not, but China and the US are very big countries and have multiple universities for people to enroll in.
That's
I
the way
think
to think about
India
it.
and then Germany as well, being smaller countries, more people go and enroll in other universities. So as I say this, it kind of feels like maybe Germany is the right answer, but I'm sticking with India, baby. India!
Damn it.
All right.
Brutal.
Last
you got
question,
your
Evan.
smart pants on. I can't see. You don't have pants on.
I don't. I'm Winnie-the-Pooh in it, and it's working. What working. Style of architecture is the Empire State Building?
Oh, great.
Is it neoclassical, vernacular, Art Deco, or Baroque?
All right. We just watched an old episode of Top Chef where they were going over art styles, because that happens sometimes. And neoclassical and Baroque were mentioned. And I do know what Art Deco is. So I feel like I can figure out how this turns into buildings. Empire State Building. Real...
On Top Chef, they were making buildings, yes?
Yes. They made buildings out of hamburger meat. Top Chef has changed. I mean, it's funny when you say what style of architecture is it. I'm like, skyscraper is a pretty standard looking building. But I guess it has that top. I've got my answer. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm between two. I'm between neoclassical and Baroque, and I don't know what Art Deco is, but I feel like it's not the Empire State Building, and I didn't even know that vernacular was a style of architecture.
It might not be.
That was
it also might be the answer.
Completely unrelated to what we're talking about. I am going to regret this decision.
Oh boy, here he goes.
But because of Community, I am going to choose Baroque.
I, against your guidance, am going to go for Art Deco.
Okay. Let's see the answer. Art Deco. Okay, right. Good job,
I didn't
Evan.
completely stall out after Neil.
This changes the score.
Hey.
Now I've widened my lead by 1.
You bastard.
So now the score is 83 to 79.
I haven't
to
broke
4.
80 yet. To 4. Well, that changes things.
Yeah, now there will be at least one more in addition to those 4. There may be 4 from now. That's possible.
I mean, we're not the smartest people. There may be 10 more.
It's true. But if I continue to Winnie-the-Pooh it through this trivia, we might be able to take me across the finish line.
Should we record an episode, both of us pantsless? Just see what it comes out.
I know, yeah.
Are we going to be loose?
No, I think I'm going to be extremely tense. What if there's an earthquake and it knocks my laptop down and everybody sees me?
This is true. That would change everything. And
what style of architecture is my body?
If there were an earthquake, going back to that, it would change everything.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Bowie, bye.